Hey everyone, this is Beth Barling from Beth Barling Wellness. I wanted to come in today and talk a little bit about the goddess Freya. So in our Soul Magic Garden container, which is a container for yoga, meditation, and spirituality, we are celebrating magic this October 2020. So this is the end of the year, Samhain. Halloween is the end of the year for anybody who celebrates the wheel of the year. Well, maybe not everybody, but I celebrate this as the end of the year. And this is the month that the veil is the thinnest. So this month we had our harvest moon on October 1st, and we will have our next full moon on Samhain. So this is a gorgeous month where we are celebrating a full cycle moving into Samhain, the end of the year. This October, the veil is so incredibly thin, and there is so much gorgeous opportunity for you to safely and with protection connect with your higher power, connect with your ascended masters, connect with your spirit tribe, connect with gods and goddesses, God the Mother, God the Father, however you resonate with the spirit world. This is a beautiful time to connect in. And our ascended masters and our angels are always available and ready to communicate with us. They want to help us to move through this space. So as this veil is thinning, there's a lot of activity and tumultuousness, and we're feeling things whether we witness it or not, whether we're consciously aware of this veil being thin or not. And what I really love about this time of year is the nostalgia. So there's a gorgeous nostalgia, and that to me is representation of our spirit tribe coming in closer, our spirit tribe communicating with us. So this gorgeous nostalgia is about reconnecting with lost loved ones. It's about reconnecting with souls we've known in different lifetimes. It's about connecting with ascended masters and angels and our higher power, that our deep inner knowing, our soul already knows truly who they are. And we are just here on this earthly journey to experience, to embrace, and to witness as humans this gorgeous journey as well. But sometimes we're a little detached, and when the veil is thinner, it's easier to really lean into the magic of who we are, the magic of what surrounds us. So take what you want and leave the rest of anything that I say ever. I would like to touch a little bit on the goddess Freya. So in our Soul Magic Garden container, we're celebrating magic. So we're celebrating various goddesses throughout the month, and we picked certain goddesses for certain different times of the month. We moved through the Morrigan for the harvest moon. We moved through Sigi last week, and I did a YouTube presentation on Sigi, so feel free to go back and check that out. This week we're doing Freya. So the third week of the month is Freya, and Freya is, I think, she might be my favorite goddess. They're all my favorite goddess on any given day, but Freya is a goddess that I connect with very deeply and passionately, and I really embrace how she has shown up in my life. So Freya is a Norse goddess. She is the goddess of love. She's the goddess of sex. She is the goddess of fertility. Her twin brother is Frey, and they are the Vanir. So there's two different groups of deities in the Norse pantheon, as I understand it. There's the Vanir, and there is, oh my goodness, it'll come to me, but it's the other group is Odin and Thor and Loki and Sif and those different gods and goddesses. I don't know why the word is escaping me, but it'll come to me. So Freya, her father was Nord, her brother is Frey, and there was a clash of these two groups. So we have Odin's group, who is very warlike, fighting, very masculine, and then there is the Vanir, who is, for lack, and I don't want to not celebrate them enough because I could be on here for days talking about this, but to me, the Vanir represents farming. It represents sustainability, represents a lot of feminine I attribute to this group, this pantheon of the Norse pantheon, this group. So when this war happens, when this clash happens, these gods and goddesses merge, and Odin's group wins, and Freya becomes, they allow Freya, Nord, and Frey to be a part of their pantheon. So Freya, the reason I mention that is because Freya always resonates very differently with me than when I work with Thor or when I work with Odin or Sif or anybody in that other, I can't believe I can't remember the word, but I'll type it into the comments. So Freya is this gorgeous goddess of love, and she is this gorgeous, empowering goddess. So she is associated with your sacral chakra, which is the most mysterious and sometimes most cumbersome of all the chakras to work with. So chakras are energy wheels. We have 7 classic chakras. If you follow a yogic perspective, Hindu perspective, there's 7 chakras within the body. There's different, there's so many different chakras. Chakras in our hands, chakras in our ears, but the main 7 run up and down the crown, and then the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral, which is here, and then your root, which is your base. And the sacral chakra is orange. The sacral chakra is about love. It's about sexuality. It's about creativity. It's about victimhood. It's about empowerment. It's that womb space, that void. And Freya, I have always, and I think personally, I've always associated her with the sacral chakra, because what Freya represents to me is not just, of course, she's part of our heart as well, but she represents an empowerment, a self-love empowerment, a self-worthiness, which to me is the opposite of victimhood. One of the greatest practices that I've ever done with Freya, and Freya is always available. She's always available to help you love yourself. So she's love and sexuality and expression and fun and wild, and she wants all of that for you. And one of the practices I like doing with Freya is actually standing naked in front of a mirror and gazing at all the parts of your body that you do not like and sending them absolute love. Sending your body love every single day. So this is a Freya practice where if you look in the mirror and you're completely naked and you don't like the way your hips look, or you don't like the way your butt looks, or you don't like the way your arms look, anything that you don't like about yourself, just sending divine love, inviting Freya to come in and to support you and empower you to look at your body and say, I love my legs, I love my legs, I love my legs, I love my legs, over and over and over again, until you actually do fall madly and completely in love with your legs or your butt. And you should, because every part of you is perfect, exactly the way that it is. There's no definition for what a human being should look like, feel like, act like, talk like. We are all absolutely perfect, exactly the way that we are. So celebrating your body, celebrating your self-worth, celebrating your image. This is one of the many aspects that Freya can support us in. What I really wanted to talk about today was a story. So this is a piece of amber that I wear, and this is my favorite piece. My husband got me this. It's a funny story because I was kind of cranky that he went to Prague without me. I thought that was kind of crappy, but I was working, so I couldn't go. Doesn't matter. So he went to Prague without me, and I was home for like a week by myself, and I was kind of getting crankier and crankier about it, and I was like, I can't believe he went without me. However, when he came home, he gave me a box, and in it was this gorgeous amber piece, and he had no idea that I was looking for an amber piece that matched Brishingamen, which Freya wears, and I'm going to tell that story. He had no idea that I was looking for this piece. So when he brought it home, I was like, oh, this is Freya, who I was working with very deeply at the time, telling me, you are loved, and none of this stuff matters. You know, your husband loves you, and what's important now is that you love yourself and that you adorn yourself and that you witness yourself as this gorgeous jewel that anybody should feel gratitude and just overbearing love, just this gorgeous sense of love to be in your energy. And if they don't, then you don't you know, you don't need to be with them. You don't align. There's nothing wrong with that. You just don't align with them. But surround yourself with love. Surround yourself with adornment. Adorn yourself. Beautify yourself. Taking care of yourself. And that's not always easy to say and do, because a lot of times we sort of dim our sparkle, dim the pieces of who we are so that we don't make others uncomfortable or that we don't look vain. Forget all that. Forget all of that. Live your life. Love all the parts of you. Wear red lipstick. Wear gaudy jewelry. Wear whatever it is that makes you fall in love with your life. And that's what, when my husband brought that home to me, it was sort of a full circle moment of, aha, you are surrounded by love. And I will eventually go to Prague, probably by myself. However, I want to talk a little bit about the story of how Freya obtained Brishingamen. So Brishingamen is this gorgeous amber necklace that the elves made. So they made this gorgeous amber necklace, and they come to Freya and they were like, do you like this necklace? And there's so many different variations of this, so just enjoy the story. And you can find so many different gorgeous variations of this online if you want to follow up. But the elves bring this necklace to Freya, and she's like, I love that necklace. I will do anything for that necklace. So the elves say to her, there's 4 of them. We're going to say 4. There's 4 of them. And they said, you will have to sleep with every one of us. You will have to have sex with each of us in order to get this necklace from us. And she's like, absolutely, I will do that. So this is a triggering story for many. And I think because it's a little triggering, that there is something gorgeous about this story. So one by one, Freya she has sex with these elves. And these elves are wrinkled and old and small and all the different things that we would classically stereotype as ugly or undesirable, if you will. So she has sex with each of these dwarves. And at the end, they were laughing, like maybe they got one over on her and they gave her the necklace. And she said, why are you guys laughing? And they were like, you know, we tricked you into sleeping with us. And she was like, tricked me into sleeping with you? She said, I am the goddess of love. I am the goddess of sex. I am the goddess of self-love. She said, each one of you is perfect exactly the way you are. And I would have had sex with each one of you without that necklace, because that's how much I love you and that's how much I celebrate you. And I remember hearing that story and immediately getting like a little miffed. I was like, oh my God, you cannot force a woman into doing these things. But nobody forced Freya into doing anything. She is the goddess of sexuality. And it didn't dawn on me, but in this story, I think what lit me up so much inside was that I was the dwarf. When I was always second guessing my beauty and my worth and my knowledge, my wisdom, all the things that I prize as, you know, a gorgeous life, I always second guess these things. So in this story, I was the dwarf, and I was bartering for love. I was always bartering for love, response, human companionship, bartering, bartering, bartering. You know, best employee, best girlfriend, best friend, any different way I could barter with attention and people loving me and people adoring me and that kind of stuff. And this story meant so much to me because if this gorgeous, gorgeous Viking goddess, Freya, is willing to have sex with this dwarf, and he is all the things, he represents all the horrific ways that we label ourselves when we are not feeling worthy and we're not feeling self-love. If she can embrace them and make love to them and hold them and tell them they are perfect, we are all perfect. We are all worthy of a gorgeous night with Freya. So I love that version of the story. There are many different versions of that story. But it was such a beautiful story, and it was the story that I read, and believe it or not, it's a harder version to find than a much more masculine version of that story, because that exists as well. But it's amazing to me that that was the first story that I found about Freya, because that was her way of saying, don't believe that bullshit about me being, you know, a whore. Being sexual, being gorgeous, embodying self-love and self-worth is not being a whore. That is celebrating your life and celebrating your existence. And Freya's husband is that she loses in battle, and she pines over him for quite some time. And again, I'm forgetting his name, but I will put all these names in the comments. He was not an attractive man. He was actually one of the most classically described unattractive men in the entire pantheon. But she loved him because she loved his soul. And she saw him as beautiful. And that's what's beautiful about Freya. She sees all of us as beautiful. So when you stand in the mirror and you are looking at your body, know that Freya thinks that you are a goddess or a god, and that you are the most gorgeous thing she has ever seen. Every day she's overly in love with how gorgeous and how beautiful and how sexual and how feminine and masculine and how we merge together. That's what she's celebrating in all of us. And when you work with Freya, that's how you can start to embody celebrating not only yourself, but again, taking that out into the physical world and celebrating each other as perfect and gorgeous, exactly the way that they are. So I adore Freya. There are so many gorgeous stories about Freya. If you have any gorgeous stories about Freya, links, stories, websites, whatever, drop those in the comments. I would love to check those out. And if you want to, we have gorgeous meditations with Freya. We have gorgeous yoga practices, hatha, yin, a whole bunch of things available in the Soul Magic Garden. And you can access the Soul Magic Garden through my website, bethbarlingwellness.com. See you guys soon.